Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. It was solid. It was hooked up to my headphones. I do a lot of work meetings over Zoom.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, nice to see you guys and hear you guys.
Yes.
Um, which one of you is Althea? Is
Yes.
that how you?
I'm Althea.
Yeah. Hey,
Yes.
how's it going?
Going good. And this is Bella. She made the marketing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was dope.
And the other one you saw is Anna. She's our president.
Here, have a microphone.
Oh,
Microphone?
thank you.
Are you recording?
Yes, I am recording.
Perfect.
Yes. Okay. So,
Don't worry.
okay. Do we want to get started now?
Yeah.
Anyone have any objections? Okay, got some thumbs up. Okay, so
Nice.
thank you all for coming. I will introduce our speaker. For those of you who know and don't know, we are joined tonight by Chalky Wong, who is a visual development artist who graciously took time out of his day to come speak to us. Everybody give a little clap. Yeah.
It's so surreal to be invited to this kind of thing because I graduated like 2 years ago in 2022. So it's like I don't really feel like I'm a professional, to be honest. Like, so when you guys are reaching out and you're like, oh, we invite professional artists to come talk, and I'm like, my first instinct is always to be like, no, I'm not a professional. But I'm like, yeah, I guess I've been working for like 2 years, so by definition, I am a professional, I guess.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know what you guys are expecting, but I just like prepared like a really like rinky-dink slideshow of like my work throughout the years, just like to share. So is it okay if I share the screen?
Yes. I think
All right, let me see if I can
should
do
be
it.
able to share, but let me know if there's any issue. It should work.
Cool.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome. Wow.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
so pretty.
Yeah, hey, I'm Chalky. Um, I'm Chalky Wong. I'm kind of like I consider myself like a jack of all trades. With specialty in like biz dev, background painting, and character design. So I'm working as a painter at Nickelodeon on the Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not sure if anyone saw it because it's on Paramount Plus, and that's like the one streaming service that no one has. Um, I had to get my mom to like download it, and then she like watched it and just canceled it. So I wanted to go rewatch some episodes, but she'd already canceled her membership, so I couldn't even do that. So
Damn.
you guys like just like share one Paramount Plus, among you guys, just so more people can watch it. We all worked really hard, so like here's some of the paintings I did for the show, just to show you guys what the show is all about, like what the deal is. Um, we kind of tried to incorporate the movie style, like Mutant Mayhem. Have you guys seen that movie, the latest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? Sweet, yeah, okay. Um, so yeah, like we tried to kind of incorporate that kind of scribbly style into 2D, which is really fun. We worked with like a whole bunch of really talented people. It was really a dream project to work on, really. Let's see. Yeah, like just like a lot of different vibes, a lot of different lightings. We just like kind of went crazy. The turnaround was so tight that we didn't really get any notes. So like basically all the painters just got to decide, the feel and tone of each scene, which is really cool. I also worked on the movie for a little bit for the like last 6 months of production. And the reason you don't recognize anything you see on screen is because all of these got cut. So like I spent like a lot of time working on that's like part of the movie, like it's like it's not really glamorous. You kind of just work on stuff and then the script changes, the animatic gets changed and then stuff gets cut. This is one of the only things I worked on that made it to the movie. I designed the puke scene when April was like barfing. I'm proud of that puke. I don't care what anyone says. I also did some destruction stuff. A lot of cars being destroyed in this movie. So most of them I designed, I think. So if you go rewatch the movie and you see any cars getting crushed, it's that's my work. I also do a lot of character design work, but unfortunately I can't show any of it because none of them have been greenlit yet. So under NDA, I can't really show anything. Hopefully within the next year or so, I'll be able to share something on my Instagram. Aside from that, on my day-to-day life, I'm interested in drawing like vehicles, goofy characters. That's just what I'm drawn to naturally. I also do like caricatures. Yeah, never had know how to pronounce that word, but I just do like silly drawings of people basically, and I also do some paintings outside. So that's basically my deal. So I like to talk about how my style has changed because I know style is like a hot topic issue that everyone cares a lot about, especially these days. So let's take it back to like the very beginning. I grew up in Hong Kong and I've been drawing since I was 3 years old. These are like some of the drawings my mom dug up from her closet. Um, and I still kind of like some of these drawings. I don't know. Um, when I got to like 9 years old, I started doing like more digital paintings because that was like the hit thing. You guys know DeviantArt and Tumblr? That's like the era that I grew up in. So like everyone was posting on that stuff. Um, and this one on the right here, it's like Neville cutting off Nagini's head at the end of Harry Potter. I was like a big Potter head growing up. So I did a lot of fan art and stuff. And this was done in MS Paint. So, you guys don't know how lucky you are to have Photoshop and stuff like that. I didn't grow up with that kind of thing. Um, so in high school, that was when I kind of discovered that I wanted to be in animation. So I went to this touring exhibit from Pixar. They went to Hong Kong. I remember seeing all these like gigantic charcoal drawings from all artists, and I'm like, damn, like I love all these drawings. I never knew that behind the movies were all these amazing artists and amazing artwork that was being done. So I was like, okay, I want to be part of that process. And so at this point was when my art style kind of shifted to more like animation-y, I guess, like kind of Disney, like quirky, kind of made for animation stuff. So I did a lot of that kind of stuff and I applied to Cal Arts and they rejected me. So I kind of was really devastated by that because I never thought that I wouldn't get in. Maybe it's just like ego and pride on my part, but I always thought that as a strong artist, I would be able to achieve anything through my artwork. So I had to go back and I just basically gave myself this task to fill a sketchbook every single month. And that's what I did for 2 years straight. And then I applied again and I got in. And I think that was kind of the period where I experienced the most growth as an artist. These were some of the life drawings I did in that period of time when I was just trying to, figure out how to improve myself as an artist. And I got into Cal Arts. So that period is actually, I think, like where I experienced like an existential crisis as an artist. Because for those of you who don't know, CalArts is like considered the best animation school in the country. Like it produced all of the people who founded Pixar. A lot of the people who graduate from CalArts go on to direct like really famous movies at Disney and DreamWorks and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a legacy school that kind of pumps out these really great artists and like all these amazing artists who want to be in animation come from across the world just to learn from the best. And so you're put in a situation where you're surrounded by all these like super talented people. Everyone's like looking up to each other. It's just this weird melting pot of all these styles and ideas. And so you put in a situation where like, oh, I want to be like that person. I want to be like that person. I want to paint like this person. I want to design like that person. So inevitably you kind of experience this existential crisis and identity crisis. As you can see in these two drawings, like these don't look like they belong from the same artist. Like they feel like they're done by two completely different artists. And that kind of summarizes like what the experience at CalArts was like. And so I slowly started getting into it and learning about the animation process. And a part of it was trying to figure out like what part of the process I wanted to be in, like animation in the animation pipeline. So do I want to be a story artist? Do I want to be more of a director type? Do I want to be a biz dev painter? Do I want to be a concept artist? And I settled on wanting to be a character designer. And this was the period when I was trying to be like more fun, more shapy, just trying to have fun with the characters and stuff like that. But then the more you go along, the more you find out like how much things you have to work on to like get to the professional level. Like there were always critiques about how my drawings weren't solid enough. Um, the characters wouldn't be able to turn in a realistic way. They weren't animation ready. So there was like just all these things that we needed to work on to become like a professional character designer. So throughout the 4 years, that's what I was kind of focusing on doing. Slowly but surely, I felt like I was not really being myself because, in animation, who are like the biggest character designers, I don't know if you guys know, but like, you have Glenn Keane, you have Shi Kim, all these like giants of animation that you're supposed to emulate and you look up to, and that's like the North Star in terms of like what you want to be as a character designer. So I feel like it's like really hard to avoid copying their style or like trying to be more like them. So at the end of my third year, actually, I started to feel like I didn't really enjoy doing character design anymore, simply because I felt like I was trying to force myself to draw in a certain way. And I never felt that I was good enough. I never felt that I was like, quote unquote Disney ready was kind of like the goal of being a person in animation. That's when COVID hit. And when COVID hit, kind of everything stopped, right? Like school was shut down, work was shut down. There was nowhere for me to be. And so like I kind of just sat down and was like, okay, I don't have to draw anything for work. I don't have to draw anything for school. So I'm just gonna draw stuff that I like stuff that I enjoy doing. And so this was like the first drawing I did when COVID hit of me and my partner. Um, I just tried to ignore the part of me that was like, oh, you have to make a beautiful drawing. Just like I just wanted to have fun with drawing. And so I did these series of drawings of me and my partner, just like what we would be up to during COVID, which is not much, but um, these drawings kind of sparked something in me. It kind of like made me remember what I want from drawing, like what kind of joy I find from art making. And so I went on and like did a bunch of drawings, just like having fun, like more Harry Potter fan art, going back to the Neville painting that I did when I was in like third grade. So I did like a whole bunch of this Harry Potter series of character designs. And that's actually what ended up landing me my first character design job, just like letting go and having fun. And that was really big for me because it was affirmation that I didn't really need to be anything else other than myself. Just like it was really liberating to have someone like my stuff just the way it is, not being trying to pretend or feeling like inadequate. And that's also how I ended up getting my Pixar internship when I graduated. So I went to Pixar for an internship for 3 months and learned a lot, met all the heroes that I looked up to growing up, everyone whose art made me want to be in animation in the first place, which was really surreal. Um, so that was really amazing. And then that's how we caught up to where I am now. So after that, I went on to work on a movie for a little bit. And then I became a background painter at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And in between that, I was like on and off gigs, doing freelance for character designs and stuff like that. And yeah, now that's where I am right now. So like what I want to come back and talk about is like what happened, right? Like how did I end up from where I was as a kid, drawing what I was drawing to like where I am now. So I think it's like comes down to this discussion about style. So this is kind of like an open discussion. Like you guys can feel free to chime in whenever you want to. Um, but I feel like especially these days, there's a increasing emphasis on like artists needing to have their own style, right? Like with the advent of AI, with there being so many more talented people out there in the world, where like if you just go online and search, there's probably like a 13-year-old who can paint better than you, who can draw better than you, right? Like, cause like things are so kind of like compacted now. Like everyone from all over the world just seems to be living in this internet space where it can feel very intimidating to, if you want to render really well, like there's like 5,000 people who can render better than you. So I think there's like increasing discussion about how your style is your asset in the marketplace of art, right? Like what's going to make you stand out from the crowd, like even if you can't paint the best, at least you're you know, like you're unique. So in high school, I remember the teacher was telling us that like, oh, just like find two different styles that you like and then mash it up together, and that's like a unique style. And back then we didn't really think much about it. Just like, okay, yeah, sure, like that makes sense, you know, having two things together, um, you know, create something unique. But now I feel like that feels a little bit reductive, you know, especially with the advent of AI. You know, that's essentially what AI is doing, right? Just like taking data, mashing them together, and you know, creating something new. I think that kind of mindset is what creates the impression that, oh, you know, tech bros and anyone, we can just generate whatever we want because art essentially is just like combining things together. And with that, I kind of like was curious, and I decided to do a little bit of a experiment with Midjourney. Yeah, I paid like $10 just for this stuff, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but just for you guys, you know, just to little experiment.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But so I came down to this idea of like, okay, if I can, you know, trace back some of my favorite artists' influences, will I be able to create their style, right? Because if style, all style is just combining different styles together, then surely creating a style is as simple as putting in a prompt, you know? So one of my favorite artists is Bill Watterson, creator of Calvin and Hobbes. Just like I love his drawings, I love his style, I love his sense of fun. So I kind of looked up his influences, and it was like, oh, Walt Kelly, George Herman, Charles Schultz. So I was like, okay, make me a cartoon drawing of a boy and a tiger in those styles, right? And so this is what I got. You know, and like, sure, these are like a boy and a tiger, but it's like nothing like Calvin and Hobbes, right? Nothing like the characters that we enjoy and the liveliness of them, the personality, like none of it is there. And I was also like, okay, Van Gogh, right? The most recognizable style ever. So painting of a night sky filled with stars in the style of Claude Monet, Paul Gauguin, Jean-Francois Millet, and Hiroshige, which is Van Gogh's biggest influences. So let's see what we got here. You know, it's like a night sky, you know. It's nice, pretty images with like impressionistic flares. But like there's like devoid of the context of Van Gogh's psychosis, you know, of his going through the pain that he went through. Like it's impossible for anyone to come up with that just from putting in a prompt. And I was also trying to like reverse engineer H.R. Geiger's alien design. Um, and so this was like an interesting experiment because I just put in like, oh, design a scary alien creature in a style inspired by Ernst Fuchs, Dado, and Salvador Dali, which was H.R. Geiger's biggest influences. And so there were like a couple of weird ones, but okay, this one looks kind of similar to the alien in the movie, right? It's kind of like got that creepy vibe. So I was like, okay, let's do variations of this. So I kept doing, and I was like, okay, it's kind of getting close, right? It's like getting more and more similar the more iterations of it I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, so maybe is it really like as simple as putting in a prompt? And right here, I got pretty close, right? This is like as close as you can get on AI to, you know, recreating H.R. Geiger's Alien just from putting in his influences. But then I was thinking, okay, but surely OpenAI, they probably have the original Alien design in their database somewhere, right? Could they be drawing from that? So I decided to just type in, okay, just make me a scary alien design. And sure enough, the first thing that came up was H.R. Geiger's Alien. You know, like so the similarity between this and what I tried to, you know, reverse engineer was like just so similar. So, you know, in general, the whole point of this whole spiel is that like AI, we don't have to worry about AI because, you know, the human mind is infinitely more versatile and flexible than that. Um, so okay, so I don't know if that was like informative at all, but like what I want to say is we don't have to worry about AI because we'll always be better. And the number one reason is because we have a body. I think that's not discussed enough because people think that by recreating a human mind in the computer, you can somehow recreate the creative process. But I think the number one thing that differentiates us from computer is actually our body. We have a body that interacts with the world. We have a body that can get sick, that can get tired, that has more or less energy depending on how much you ate, how much you slept, whether you went out in the past 24 hours. And I feel like even if you have the exact same input with the exact same intention, you cannot produce the same thing exactly twice, because our bodies are so fallible. And so I think one important thing to think about when you're trying to develop a style is to lean on that, bodily aspect of yourself. Try drawing something 20 times in a row. The 20th iteration of the same thing is going to look different from the first one. And another thing that makes us different is that we have like a human mind. We absorb things, we feel things, we experience heartbreak, we experience the world in a uniquely us way, in an us fashion. So another thing we can do is just lean on that using our minds, being conscious of using our minds. Absorb not just art, but just like literally everything around you. Talk to people, listen to music, just analyze what interests you and really try to break them apart to see why you like them in the first place. So my advice in general is just to lean on your body, really lean on what makes you you. Your body wants to draw in a certain way, so just like, let it do that. Let it paint in a certain way. Let it paint in the way that it wants to. And it's just inevitably, you will just become an artist that is unique. So I think there's like this misconception that style is something that you like build, right? Like you intentionally build it like Legos. Like, oh, I'm influenced by this artist, so I put this Lego piece here. I'm influenced by that artist, so I put my like Lego piece here. But just like our sense of self, your style just develops from your experience with the world. It develops with your taste, it develops with your preferences. And not to say that you can't guide that development of your style, but it's not something that you can produce through sheer will. So I guess there's no easy answer to this, but just to keep making art, just keep making it and keep looking at stuff that inspire you and really processing it instead of just like, trying to figure out how we can use things. Just enjoy the art that you enjoy and just keep making art. So yeah, I guess that's all I have to say for today. But if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to take any.
Yes, thank you.
No.
No. Okay. Well, Ella, do you have any questions to start off?
I have questions right here, but I have a random question applying to like what you just talked about. And have you ever like played the game or like watched the game through of like Detroit Become Human? Or do you know that game at all?
I've heard about it, yeah. Was it well received or not?
Was it what?
Well received? Like, was it a generally liked game? Because I remember hearing about it. I forgot if it was really bad or really good.
Oh no, yeah, I love the game. It's beautiful. And
Oh,
like it's just kind of reminded me of like when you were talking about like how we as like humans have bodies and like our bodies experience things that we
yeah,
want to
yeah.
draw. And like the whole dilemma of like that video game is like these like AI people are like beginning to gain consciousness and like they have bodies too. And like the main character, one of the main characters of the video game is like kind of like questioning that. And their mentor is an artist and they like talk about that. And it was an interesting conversation, but I think it kind of reminded me what you were talking about. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's so important. Like that's like I feel like an unappreciated part of being human is our shitty meat bags. Because
Yeah, yeah.
like you're like sometimes I'm so tired, like when I'm doing an assignment, like I'm so tired that that's like when I make the best work is when I'm so sick of shit and like my hands are not working properly. And have you
Yeah.
guys ever tried, like drawing with your left hand? It's like a really trippy experience.
It is.
Right. So I think that's like, yeah, computers can do like whatever, but like you can't fuck up like our bodies can't, like you can't experience what it is. And like you interact with the world in a really unique way, depending on like, you know, how tall you are, how short you are, like how long
Yeah.
your limbs are, what you ate that day. I feel like it's like an essential part of making art is like using your body to create something.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you. That was just interesting. But I recommend looking at the game through because it's really
I will.
cool.
Okay, I guess I have a question about kind of being a visual development artist because I'm interested in animation and like comics, narrative art, but mostly animation. And I feel like for me, it's been a struggle to trying to like focus on something. And I feel like I really like visual development, but I kind of worry it's like kind of hard to, be able to draw everything and kind of get to that like level. Whereas like, I mean, I guess you kind of have to draw everything in any aspect, but I feel like, with character design, you so focus on people, but with visual development, you kind of focus on everything. So I was kind of wondering, like, do you have any like thoughts on that?
On like being able to draw everything.
Yeah. Like, do you think it's like harder or do you have any tips or advice, experience?
Well, research is a big part of it, I feel like. And also as a biz dev artist, at the end of the day, they're trying to get your take on it, right? Like they're not trying to get like what is the perfect version of this thing. They're trying to if they're hiring you, they're trying to see what you have to bring to the table. Because like anyone can draw a tape, like anyone can draw like a I don't know, like a car really well. Like if you find like the best car artist, you can render every single surface really well. But in biz dev, like what they want is your mind, right? Like your unique take on it. So I think that, of course, there's like some level of technicality that you have to be proficient in. It's like just being a good drawer, being able to draw what's in front of you is like an important skill to have. But you don't have to be an expert in everything, because like so for reference, I had no idea what any of the turtles were even called before I started working on the show. Like I had to do like a week long deep dive on like what the deal of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was. I didn't know anything of the lore or anything like that.
Oh my
And,
God.
and most of the time I don't even know how to draw animals. Animals are like so difficult. So and like most of the time I draw the animals, they don't even look like the animals they're supposed to look like, but they have character, they have personality. That's what matters. They're looking for as a VSF artist, you're meant to bring personality to things. So I think focus on that. Focus on what kind of perspective you have on that thing, or like what do you think is missing in what can help the movie, what can help the story. That's more important than being able to draw everything. That would be my suggestion.
Yes, thank you. Does the audience have any questions? Oh, Bella.
Wait, okay. I have a question. I have a question. It's like a very boring, but like I feel like everyone here, we kind of like when we have our speaker series, we kind of like to go over this question, but and like I have another part of the question, but first off, like we kind of just like to know like what like your day-to-day basis is, what you do with your job and like what you do at work and everything. And I'm kind of interested like how that compared to like your internship at Pixar and how that went to Nickelodeon and how they differed. And maybe like which one you preferred or
Oh, okay. This is interesting. I can share some of the Pixar stuff I did. I think I didn't really share any
yeah.
stuff. Let me see if there's anything I can show because there's some stuff that's NDA. Okay. So Pixar was very different though because it was like more like a class basis. So they're implementing this thing where like instead of working on actual movies, they would kind of uh put us through almost like a class. So we would do like a couple weeks on character design, a couple weeks on painting, and then we worked on a movie for around like a month. So it was pretty different because it still felt very much like we were students. We
Yeah.
weren't really. It was we were mostly there to learn. We weren't really uh, contributing to anything. I honestly felt like we did feel like a burden on most of the production that we were on. I feel like we were being babysat most of the time. Uh,
Oh.
yeah, so it was kind of like a weird dynamic. But these were stuff that we did during the internship. The assignment was person and pet. So we're just supposed to design a person and their pet. You
Okay.
can just whatever you want. So I designed this lady with her tiger, and we did a lot of cool, fun stuff. It was honestly really chill.
Yeah.
So that was very different from working on the movie and on the show, because on the movie it was also kind of chill. I think not a lot of people know that, but like feature is a bit more relaxing than TV, because the schedule is like very different. The
Yeah.
turnaround, basically they give you an assignment and then you work on it for like a week. Just like it could be like one single painting or whatever, and then you work on it for a week. But in TV, for reference, right now our schedule is 6 paintings a week. So
Oh.
it's a very different schedule than
Yeah.
movies. Yeah, so depends on the production, of course. Some productions are better, some productions are harder, but like right now our show is pretty hectic. It's like, yeah, basically we have 2 weeks, 3 weeks turnaround on one episode. So like everyone's just like firing on all cylinders. You kind of get numb to it in the sense that like, okay, at first I was spending like maybe like 3 days on painting. And then you realize, okay, I don't got time for this shit. I can just like spend, 5 hours and make it like a little bit less quality, but still
Mhm.
get away with it, depending on the schedule. Because a lot of times, you're making so many paintings. Who cares if one is like a little bit less quality than the
Yeah.
others? So day to day is just, yeah, just like heads down painting for 8 hours. I don't know. There's not much, not many iterations to it. You do research, like depending on notes from your director, or your art director would have specific visions for like, okay, I want the scene to, be like that one scene in Whiplash, for example, and then you just spend some time looking up shots from Whiplash and
Mhm.
um, you know, yeah, that's essentially it.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
Awesome. Do you like the mic?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I actually have a question. This is not, it's a very basic question, but I actually originally found your art through your CalArts sketchbook tour, like I think when I
Oh
was like
man, embarrassing.
16. No,
Yeah.
so it's like, and I'm 23 now, so it was kind of a while ago, but I'm wondering like what's your favorite pen and sketchbook to use? Like genuinely.
Dude, I haven't been sketching as much as I want to, but like this pen is like my favorite. It's
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys see it. I don't know. You guys see it? It's a brush pen.
Yes.
It's a Pentel GFKP. It's got a really soft tip.
Mhm.
So that was like what I used for most of my sketchbook.
Mhm.
And my favorite sketchbook is honestly the cheapest and thickest thing you can find, because that
Yeah.
way you're less precious about it. I don't really like Moleskines as much because they're so expensive
Mhm.
and they make me kind of feel scared drawing, and I never want to feel scared of drawing. So I
Mhm.
prefer just like the shittiest sketchbook I can find, and
Yeah.
then so going crazy on it. The more it can help you draw, the better it is, I feel like.
Mhm.
But this club is like for digital painting, right? Why are you asking me about analog stuff? Like you
Because
shouldn't
I
be touching
just
it or
I've
anything.
been having, I don't know, it's just my personal issue with sketchbooks because I'm a very heavy-handed drawer, so I tear up the paper. So, but I
Yeah,
agree.
you shouldn't do that. You should just like leave it. Like you can see your own journey. Like sometimes it's nice to see the shitty drawings too.
Mhm.
And like that was the whole thing about Color Sketchbook, because like
Mhm.
I think the reason I got rejected the first time, if you saw my video, you probably
I
know.
did.
Embarrassed. I'm gonna, yeah. I should probably shouldn't delete it, but I really want to. But it's so the reason is because if you guys know about the Keller sketchbook thing, it's like the infamous Keller sketchbook where every applicant has to submit a whole ass sketchbook to CalArts to be judged among the gods. Um, so there's like this whole culture of like each sketchbook being like super perfect and super nice. And so there's this pressure to almost like make like an art of book from yourself, which is like insane to ask a high schooler to do, honestly, hindsight. So I was trying to make mine look like all the others that I saw online. So I think that was kind of part of the reason why um, I got rejected, because it just wasn't me, and I wasn't comfortable drawing in that style, and it totally shows. And so if you look at the sketchbook that I ended up being accepted for, it's like super janky and like super like sketchy and messy. And I was honestly surprised that they liked it. But yeah, there we go, got in. So I think that's kind of like the recurring theme that I want to get back to, is like stop trying to copy people. Like you can admire things and you can look at things that you like, but that should stop when the moment you start drawing. You shouldn't be thinking about that stuff when you start drawing, just or painting or whatever. You should just you absorb it, trust that your brain has absorbed the information that you like, and then just like draw without thinking about any of that stuff and just focus on having fun and making something nice.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely really liked that video because of I feel like I really appreciated like your take on that and just drawing in general. So
Did you end up applying to
no, I was no.
random
I
college representative?
yeah, in-state tuition and financial aid. I was like,
Sure, yeah.
I could never afford it even if I had the skill to get in, which I did not. But I used to be obsessed with those videos.
Same. I eat them up. Like I swear, I eat a sandwich
yeah.
and eat them.
So weird people watch those without like who don't apply. To me, that's fascinating. But yeah, I guess that makes sense because it's like you get to see people's sketchbooks. I guess that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But um, how is the program? Like, are you guys all in like studying art right now in school?
Some of us are.
Raise your hand if you're
Yes.
stamps.
Raise your hand if you're stamped.
Yeah!
So, our art school here at University of Michigan is called Stamp School of Art and Design. It's very interesting program. No, it's a great program. But every art school I've realized like now it's not just the one you go to, it's like everyone they have their
Oh yeah. Everyone's complaining. Everyone loves complaining about art school. You're paying like 50K a year, and then it's like, what am I getting out of this? Right. Like Cal's the same way though. Like our facilities were so shitty. Like seriously, the last year, like after COVID, we were the only department that couldn't go back to school because the entire building flooded and like there was like
oh.
water everywhere. That's like how janky it was because it was like in disrepair for like the entirety of the time that we were there. And honestly, the classes were like hit or miss. So if you guys don't feel bad if you guys like are like feeling that the art school you're in is like not up to par, because like literally not a single art school is up to par. It's like your biggest resources is like are your peers. Like I think the biggest difference is at CalArts, everyone is like so motivated and so inspiring to be around. So I think that that's like a cheat code for them. They just like put a bunch of talented people together and then just charge people to be there. And
Yeah.
like they basically teach themselves. So I feel like yeah, I don't feel bad if you're not in like the art school that you want to. Like, literally anyone can make it.
Yes, yeah, I've definitely.
What are the majors offered? Like what's most people's like specialty in
Do you want to take this one, Bella?
I would like to take this one. So stamps likes to be special, and we don't actually have majors in stamps.
Okay.
It's just a blink art and design major, which I believe they used to have majors.
They did.
And we kind of like are like taught everything, or like we need to know like 3D, we need to know 2D, we need to know like sculpting, and they really love to like show off that we are very interdisciplinary, which I think lets them lack in a lot of areas, especially with digital art and animation, because I know our school's so fine art heavy. But not saying that there's like, I think there's great things that come with like fine arts, because like we have good observation classes and like those things can always be
awesome. You guys get life drawing and stuff like that?
Yeah, we get all that stuff. I think once it's like into the higher things, we have a lot of teachers that just lack and like they don't know Photoshop that well, which is kind of sad. And but yeah, I have issues, but that's okay. But like what you said, I think definitely like peer review is like definitely some of the best like stuff you can get.
Yeah. And like
I feel like I know
everything. Do you guys know about Concept Design Academy?
we do not.
I know about it. I've heard it.
Althea knows about it.
I've heard about it. Yes.
Yeah, it's cool. They have like animation artists and like concept artists from video games who like do classes there. And I feel like even in CalArts, most people take at least one CDA class to supplement. So it's like, yeah, there's like it's like $800 for one semester class. It's like I think a 13-week course would cost you $800. So it's like not too terrible, and it's online. So you get to learn whatever you want from it. So
Yeah.
if you want character design, if you want to learn like storyboarding, if you want like basics of Photoshop, they always offer stuff like that. That's like super helpful.
Did you ever take any of those courses?
Yeah, I took one class and I personally did not like my specific instructor,
Okay.
uh, but I know a lot of people who, basically learn all of the skills of their trade from that school, from CDA.
Mhm.
So like definitely recommend because there's like especially if you have like no idea where to start, that's like a good spot to kind of look into it if you're looking to get into commercial art.
Okay. And like something that's off of that too, um, like going outside of college, did you ever think about like mentors or anything like that was like outside of Cal Arts that helped you think more than just going to school?
Yeah, for sure. I think my first job was a character designer at Sony, and my boss was really awesome. He's also an Asian American, and he kind of like talked me through a lot of the day-to-day job stuff. Like, as when you're first starting to work after a student, you still have that mindset of like, oh, like, I have to be like, I have to hand in things early, I have to outperform, I have to like, they ask for 3 iterations, I'm gonna do 15, like that kind of
Yeah.
mindset. And he just basically told me to chill the fuck out because he's like it's you're ruining the vibes by like always constantly over delivering. So I think there's like a lot of things that are like day to day working that are
Mm.
important to learn from people who have that experience. It's like in terms of art wise, uh, my partner I met in Cal Arts, and we kind of grew together. We our art journey has been like basically intertwined. We went to Pixar internship together, so she's probably like my biggest resource in terms of like artistic inspiration, in terms of like being able to review each other's work. That's like having someone who can see your growth side by side is like so important to me. Um, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, like all the friends I made in Cal Arts who are still supportive and still around, they're like the biggest resources too. So like just having a support network of people who you trust to see your work and to trust to give you honest critique and who you feel safe sharing with is the biggest thing, I think.
Thank you. Friendship.
Friendship.
Friendships.
Hmm. Let's see. A part two to the pen question.
Oh,
But
And yeah,
digital. This is Digipaint. Okay, guys, I'm back on track.
yeah. We're not
Um,
talking about no talking about sketchbooks anymore, where it's like purely Photoshop, purely
yeah,
nothing else.
what program do you use? What tablet do you use? Also, all the
Uh,
brushes you use. Just kidding, not the brushes.
all the brushes. I can like send everyone my brushes if there's a Google Drive or anything and drop everything there. Y'all can download it if you want to. It's like accumulation of like all the projects I've worked on. Like I just like collect brushes with every
Mhm.
project that I'm on. So but honestly, like all the brushes, I find myself I have like 500 brushes and I use like maybe 3 of them on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just send those, like the ones that I have favorite.
Yeah.
Use like a Cintiq, a Wacom Cintiq, the secondhand. It's like a 27-inch. It's like a gigantic, and it cost me like $900. It's a secondhand, so it's a bit cheaper. But I think the latest one is like $3,500, which is insane. It's like the same as buying like an Apple Vision Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like fucking
Costs more
crazy.
than my car.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
My car's pretty old, but anyways.
But
It's
like my
like,
boss uses just like an Intuos tablet. Like not even the one that you can like see like it's just like a rinky-dink tablet that you just draw while looking at the screen. So it's like
mhm.
uh he makes like the best paintings ever. So I honestly feel like Wacom is just trying to get our money to buy all this fancy gadgets when like the smallest dinkiest tablet can still produce like amazing results.
Mhm.
Um, I use an Apple Mac. That helps. I feel like most people in the industry use Apple.
Mhm.
It's like kind of like a cult. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. Oh, I use iPad a lot. Like all my character design stuff is iPad. Do you guys use Procreate? Do you guys fuck with Procreate at all?
Yes, we
Yeah, that's
love
like my favorite
it.
application. I'm still waiting for them to make like a desktop version so I can just like transition completely from Adobe. because Adobe I'm kind of fed up with Adobe shenanigans these days with the AI stuff. So I just like hoping that I do animation on Procreate too. So I think Procreate's an awesome program.
Mhm.
And it's like the closest to like working traditionally as you can get. Like I love the feeling of drawing on it. It just feels like I'm using a regular pencil.
Mhm. I agree. I love Procreate.
Me too.
Were you gonna say-
I forgot what I was gonna say, but I have a question now. Are you participating in Inktober? No, you can do it. You can do it non-digitally. Wait, digitally.
So no, Inktober, I've tried and failed probably like four times to participate in Inktober. I think the most number of drawings I've been able to do is like five. So
5 is a strong number. That's okay.
yeah, five is like strong, an odd number, it's a prime number. Like I feel good
Uh-huh.
about it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted every single year, but then I look at the list and I look at everyone's participating and I'm like, do I really want to do this? Probably not.
It's valid.
Are you guys doing it? Do you guys fuck with that?
I'm doing it for the first time ever, and I'm at
Oh
3.
yeah,
Yeah,
3. That's
yeah.
solid. Right now, so far, every single day, you nailed it. Even if you stop tomorrow, you're still a winner. So
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
with
I
you,
bet I can get to 5. Maybe even
I'm sure you
6.
can. Maybe even 6. Yeah.
I'm just trying to do it. I think October. I saw one artist I follow do it and just like post whatever, like every day in
Yeah.
October. I posted on the 1st and I have not posted since. So
That's
hopefully
okay.
catch up soon. But classes, I take too many credits, but anyways. Yeah.
I have a question I could ask. I wait, something in your mind said something. I think it was like you're posting. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is back. I was gonna ask like a question like, do you think like your Instagram following and like you posting regularly, do you find that like helpful into like finding people and like sources and jobs? Because I know a lot of people like either like
Yeah.
the speaker series or like they're like, oh, I found this job, like they just reached out to me because they really liked my unicorn drawing on Instagram.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, yes, okay, this is a complicated question to answer, surprisingly, because it's like something that I hate about Instagram is it's become like it's like almost like an extension of your portfolio, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like because of this expectation that like your next job is going to come from Instagram or like your career is going to be launched because of Instagram. People just treat it like too preciously when it's supposed to be like just a shitty app that you post your whatever art on.
Yeah.
I want to keep that spirit alive, but at the same time, while I say that, my first job was also because of Instagram because like so like it's like complicated, right? Because like but at the same time, when I was actively trying to use Instagram to find work, it was not working for me because exactly what I said, because I was treating it more like my portfolio than like a place than a safe
Yeah.
space where I could post my stuff. So there's this dichotomy where the more you feel like you need to use it to, expand your career or whatever, the less likely it is to happen. I feel like you just kind of have to post it and like leave it be. You just have to kind of just post what makes you happy. Because
Mhm.
that's what happened. Like I posted my shitty drawings during COVID, like posted my shitty COVID drawings, my Harry Potter fan art
Yeah.
stuff. And then that's what caught people's attention. So yeah, I guess that's the answer to your question. People do that,
Yeah.
which I resent, but at the same time, I got my first job from that, so I can't resent it too much.
Nice. So far, I've learned is be happy and make friends from you, and it's very helpful.
Yeah, I mean that's a good summary and takeaway, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, I mean I think it's just to draw a lot and not care as much about standards so
Yeah.
much. Just like trust your taste, like we got into art for a reason. We want to paint, we want to draw for a reason. It's because we have that creativity in us and we were clearly inspired by artists, people that inspired us to draw and paint in the first place. So just trust that instinct.
Mhm.
Just keep looking at stuff that you enjoy and dig deeper into stuff that you like. Doesn't just have to be art, it can be anything. And when you draw, it's gonna come out naturally. I feel like when you make art, it's gonna come out naturally. Just the more you do it, the more your brain's synapses are firing in the same order. Muscle memory kicks in.
Yeah.
Just draw the way your body wants to draw.
Yeah.
Okay. We have yapped, so I think it's time for audience questions.
Give me.
Yep. Okay. We're gonna see. The microphone works. Okay, wait. Let me see if I can
I
turn
was
it.
honestly so surprised that there's like a whole room of people here.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello.
All right, hi. So I was wondering about using you animate on Procreate because I use Procreate, but the way
Oh yeah.
I like it cannot be the correct process because it's just not good. So I'm wondering how you do it. Any tips of like
How I
to
animate on Procreate?
Procreate and that kind of stuff?
I do like really dumb, like small GIFs on Procreate. I kind of like the way it's like janky. That's kind of like why I like it. I like the lack of control. Let me see if I can share the silly animations that I do. Basically, I just use the timeline function. It's like I literally draw frame by frame. I don't even keyframe it. I just wait a sec. I'll be able to find my animations here somehow. Oh, nice. This one. So that's like the extent of my animation on Procreate. It's just like maybe like a 10, 12 frame loop. So I just do it the way I do my regular art, except like just 12 drawings, you know. And I do the line first, and then I go back and I paint under it, frame by frame. And I use the groups to kind of like turn multiple layers into one frame. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because in Procreate, I know what you mean, because like you can't work in multiple layers in Procreate, right? For animation. So if you group two layers together, it becomes like a frame. So that's essentially how I do animation. Like all of the animation I do on Procreate is like just like that, just a couple frames of stuff. Let's see if I can find more.
Do you have any suggestions as a Procreate user for software that I could use to do more like animatics, for example? Because currently I'm like drawing slides in Procreate and exporting them into Adobe Premiere, which I feel like is not yet
Right,
possible.
right. You TV Paint is usually what we use to make our films. Do you know TV Paint?
I don't think I can Google it.
Sorry?
Or Google it.
It will be Googled.
They don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Thanks for translating from the distance. Yeah, TV Paint is probably the number one thing that we use at CalArts. Use it to make this, and that's like more TV Paint. And we use After Effects for the comping of it. I personally don't really like Adobe's animation program. I think it's not good. I heard good things about Clip Studio Paint too. I think they also have their animation function.
Yes.
But yeah, there's more stuff that I animate on Procreate. But yeah, Procreate's good for like just like small loops like this. Yeah, I don't know if that was helpful at all. But yeah, TV Paint, it's a little bit pricey, but you get the license for the rest of your life. You don't have to do a subscription or anything like Adobe.
Yeah, I bought TV Paint with my little work study money. I actually have a question about it. Like, have you experienced like it feeling kind of weird to draw in, or is that just me? Because I feel like I don't
Yeah,
know.
it sometimes does have that. It's like nothing, every single software you use is like there's like an adjustment period. You have to kind of like get used to it every single time. So it kind of sucks, but there's no perfect software. You just gotta work with it.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was probably like a learning curve, but I just wanted to ask because not many people I know use it.
Yeah, it's like the more you use it, hopefully the easier it gets. But that's like probably the best software to do it with, though, in my opinion. Like if you want to do like keyframe animation, like traditional like
Mhm.
animation, that's probably the best way to go. Toon Boom Harmony, have you guys used that?
I've used it a little bit.
Yeah, that one's like it's more for like rigging style animation. Like if it's like 2.5D, stuff like that, that would be like a better software to use.
Yeah. Any more audience questions?
I'm coming.
I'm gonna move the laptop again.
I guess my question is more or less, besides like outside of Instagram, where have you found like your jobs, like working in animation?
Work in animation, like how I find them outside of Instagram.
Yeah.
So like what I've noticed is no one I've met in the industry has ever gotten a job from LinkedIn. Like no, we sorry. But like it's like emailing recruiters kind of. And like CalArts we have portfolio day. It's obviously a luxury, but uh it's like usually through references and through word of mouth and through contacting recruiters, art directors, and going to industry events also helps a lot. I know it's like all the way in Michigan, so it's kind of hard for you to come out to Los Angeles to do that. But I think there are like if you guys go to Lightbox, that's like where a lot of it's later this month actually, but it's also all the way out here in Los Angeles. That's where a lot of people do their networking. Um, Beyond that, I think putting up your portfolio and like actually reaching out to recruiters on LinkedIn might not be a bad idea either, because if you message them personally, sometimes they do respond. But from my experience, applying to the job postings itself doesn't really do anything. Like there's this one character design position from Sony that's been around for like 3 months.
I'm so sorry if you hear
Wait.
that.
Is something going on there?
Oh, the building is just giving an announcement about it closing.
Okay.
Appreciate your cooperation and
Sorry.
thank you.
All good.
Sorry.
She's done now.
Yep, it's over.
It's like an evacuation order or something. Like you guys gotta
No.
leave
They
the room
just-
right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
but what were you
uh,
saying? Can you like repeat just a little bit of that?
Oh yeah. So yeah, just messaging recruiters on LinkedIn like personally. I think that's more helpful than applying to the actual job postings. Because like
Okay.
those job postings get like 500 applicants, and in my experience, they usually just go with whoever they were going to hire anyway. Like they don't really take a chance on new people. Do apply to those like art internships though, because those I think they do judge on a case by case basis. And that can be your into the industry too. Just like those more interny like art apprenticeships, interns type of thing. Because I know a lot of people who got their start doing that ended up being in the industry for a long time. So I hope that answers your question. I'm sorry about the LinkedIn thing.
Thank you so much.
I should just take down my LinkedIn account.
No, keep posting there. You never know. It's always nice to get your name out there, in some kind of way.
How else am I gonna keep and connect with instructors?
Whoa. Guys, do we have any more questions for our beautiful speaker?
Oh, okay.
So my question is like, how, I guess, accessible do you think the industry is for like not living in LA? Because I really don't want to live in LA. And I guess
That's
like
really
the pressure, I guess, of like working for, like big companies like Nickelodeon and like DreamWorks and stuff, like, like my, I guess, dream is to be like working for DreamWorks, but also like, I don't really want to live in LA and stuff, and also like as a
Yeah, most people don't want to live in LA.
like I'm really looking for like remote work as a possibility, but also like I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm just super excited about that.
Yeah.
So
For sure. I mean, the unfortunate reality is because of union guidelines and stuff like that, most studios do at least require you to be geographically located in Los Angeles. Um, I know of exceptions, but they're usually like they're big enough artists where they can, they have a reputation of being like a reliable artist, like people who had like, 5+ years of experience. Um, they do live in other states and work from home. Um, that's like more the exception than the rule. I'd say like if you're trying to break into the industry, it kind of is a necessity to be located in Los Angeles, at least in the first couple of years. I think if you really want to kind of have like a career of working remotely from another state, uh, you might want to consider moving to the West Coast for like, a couple of years, try to get your start there. And then once you have like a established presence in within studios, then you can just go wherever you want and work from there. But I'd say it's still kind of like, unfortunately, as backwards as it is right now, you know, they still have that requirement on paper that you need to be in Los Angeles to work in most studios.
Yeah, okay, well, thanks.
And it's not that bad. The rent is pretty expensive, but you get the union minimums, it's pretty good.
Any other questions? Oh my God. Whoa.
Wow, so many questions. I didn't expect so many questions.
Sorry, I'm very inquisitive. I totally just forgot which question I was looking at. I just looking for questions up right now. I guess one of my questions was just like, we kind of talked about this briefly earlier, but like what does kind of like your daily life look like and like your daily workflow, like how long you work, what's your work time,
Right.
and do you have any semblance of work-life balance, or is it just
Ooh, that's hard. Yeah, I think I go through periods because I think right now the industry is really, I'm not sure how much you guys know about the animation industry right now, but it's kind of dry out here a little bit. Not a lot of opportunities. So and also it's increasingly becoming more project to project based. So it used to be if you were hired at Disney, for example, you get to work there for like 20 years and not get fired. That's like your career set, you don't have to worry about it. But now the longest contract that I've ever worked on is 6 months. So it's like that's like the longest contract that I've ever worked on. And the worst case scenario is they renew you week to week. So that means like week to week you have to worry about whether or not you're gonna have work. So it's kind of terrible, yeah. So this breeds the attitude where okay, you have to be constantly looking for work, and if someone reaches out to you for freelance, you have to say yes because make hay while the sun shines. you know. So I've had periods where I've had to work weekends, like I've had to work until like 10 p.m. just like because I'm balancing like 2, 3 different projects. Um, right now I've chilled out a little bit more. I'm just doing one single job. So just like a normal 9 a.m. start work. And then because most of the jobs are actually remote, so I'm just working from home right now. Um, I just go work out, make a meal. Just it's pretty chill, honestly, right now. I have a lot of work-life balance. Weekends I get free. I get to spend time with my partner. Um, and yeah, it's like not super crazy. No overtime or anything. I'm wrapping up my work at around like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. And honestly, some days I don't even have to work that much. I put in maybe like 4 hours of work some days if the schedule is light, and I still get paid for the 8 hours because I'm handing in my work in time.
thank you. I had another question, but I forgot it. Does anyone else have any questions? No? Oh wait, Bella has a question.
I have a question. Thank you.
I have a random question, but it's been in my head and I need to say it out loud now. And okay, is there anything right now, like TV show or movie wise, you're excited to look at for? Because I'm excited for Arcane season 2, and I was just wondering if
Oh
anyone.
yeah, Arctic seems to be awesome. They're also making the same studio. They're also making like an original feature, which I'm looking forward to. So it's gonna be fucking awesome, like in that style in their own property. It's gonna be really great. Um, movie wise, let's see what's coming out. Mostly like foreign stuff, yeah. Like Japanese animation. Like, do you guys know Look Back, the anime that's coming out?
Oh, I love Look Back. Sorry, I love Look Back. I actually really do. I want to see it.
Yeah, and well, I'm not exactly looking forward to Moana 2. And it's kind of sad because Disney this year is not releasing a single original film,
Oh,
not a single one. And
Damn.
oh, the show I worked on at Pixar is called Win or Lose. It's coming to Disney Plus next February, so you guys check it out because that one is actually good. Like not because I worked on it, but it's because it's like their one and only miniseries that they're ever gonna do because the production was hell. No one wants to do it again, so it's gonna be Pixar's first and last miniseries,
wow.
and it's really cool. It's like it's kind of like they pitched it to me like Euphoria, but for middle school kids. So it's like it's
Whoa.
a bunch of kids, different perspectives. Colors are really trippy. The style is different. So look out for that in February. I'm excited for that, not because I worked on it. I promise. What else is out? I watched Wild Robot. That was really pretty.
I haven't seen it, but I really want to see it.
Yeah, it's a pretty film. And what else is coming out? It's kind of sad, but I can't think of anything in America that's coming out that I'm excited for.
Not anymore. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I was talking about an ABC show.
Do you have a question?
Oh, we have a question over
comment?
here. Okay. Another question.
Yeah, I just had a comment, yeah, do you have any like insight into like why people aren't maybe, or maybe execs aren't, I don't know, funding original IPs, cause like, I watched Scavenger's Reign and it was so freaking good, and then in a
Yeah.
week, it just got axed, and, well, not axed, I think being put up on Netflix to maybe get another season, but like, I don't know, it's just been sequels and reboots, and I do know that, like, I guess it's like risk and profit driven at a certain point, but like, I was just curious about your personal feelings on it as someone in the industry that has to.
Yeah, totally. So there are a lot of original stuff being developed. So like when I was at Sony, I was freelancing. They had a lot of original work that was being developed. Development is kind of like a large pool of people who are constantly working, but with no guarantees that their project's ever going to see a light of day, which is most of the character design projects I've worked on. I think right now, because of the financial situation of a lot of those companies, not that they're making any less money, but they're just not making as much money as they want to. And the streaming bubble is kind of popping. So Netflix and a lot of other streaming services are slowly, coming to realize that they're not going to be infinitely profitable anymore. And I don't know if you guys heard, but originally they had a slate at Netflix. They were gonna have to make 12 animated feature films per year, which is insane. Like I can't even tell you like 5 and Netflix animated original movies that came out last year. But basically they cut it down to 2. So now they're only doing 2 movies per year. And that's, I think, the state of most of the industry. For example, I think Paramount now is mostly going to be focused on making IP movies, like their, TMNT, Transformers, just like milking all of their intellectual property for money. And the general kind of attitude in the animation industry right now is kind of pessimistic in terms of like, oh, like less and less original movies are being made. But I think there's going to be a shift towards low budget movies because like it used to be an animated movie would have to, it would cost like 100 million or 150 million to make. Um, TMNT cost 70 million. Wild Robot I think also costs like 60 or 70 million, I believe. So it's like half the budget, which gives it actually I'm optimistic about that because a lower budget means less stakes, means more creative freedom. So hopefully more studios do that, less money, but you give creatives more say in it. For now, it does seem like there's going to be a bigger shift towards sequels and legacy properties and legacy films. But it's always a cycle. We go through these like kind of ups and downs in the industry all the time. Right now, it's kind of like a valley in the industry right now where we're going through strikes. I mean, not strikes, but union negotiations in terms of what's some inside baseball and what's going on in the industry right now. Negotiations are going. If the negotiations don't go well, there might be a strike. There might not be a strike, but that's going to also affect studio attitude. If they're thinking that there's going to be a strike, they're not going to be as willing to greenlight 5-10 new projects down the road. So once things stable out, hopefully we're going to be back on track to making cool original stuff. But right now it's a little bit less healthy in the industry. So that's what I would say.
Any other questions?
Not to be a bummer, but I think things are picking up soon because negotiations seem to be going. So I think next year is going to be, we're going to see like a little bit of a uptick.
God willing.
Fingers crossed.
Guys, on the topic of this animation, I'm just curious, what's your thoughts on like the current state of indie animation, like separate from studio work or like studio-based projects?
Sorry, can someone repeat that question? I just heard indie animation.
Oh, I think they were asking like, what's your thoughts on like more indie animation? Like, can you say it one more time, actually?
Literally just like, what's your thoughts on the current state of indie animation?
Yeah.
The animation, like in terms of films or commercials, is there a specific aspect of indie animation that you're interested in learning about?
I guess more like indie animated like TV series and film, things like that.
Indie animation, TV.
We have a follow-up.
Like Lackadaisy and I think Studio Heartbreak has that really awesome like mermaid lesbian film.
Yes, The Lovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Lovers.
And Amazing Digital Circus. Another one that's also coming out that's gonna be animated. And then sorry, I'm just like
No, great examples.
Animations, but yeah, like I just feel like it's kind of been thriving recently, not like a wellspring of profit. I work in AT Comics and I know that there's not much money to be made there.
Yeah.
It's I think it's there's been like an uptick in like projects and also like visibility, and I was just wondering on that and to jump off your question.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube is like a space where I feel like a lot of creators are doing it. I love Meat Canyon. I don't know if you guys know Meat Canyon. Meat Canyon is like one of my favorite channels. They do like parodies of like famous people. And it's like just one dude, which is crazy. I don't know how profitable it is, like you said. Like I don't know. I believe most of it is through crowdfunding. But I do think that could be like a possible way for indie creators to make the stuff that they want without having to be part of the studio system. I have considered doing that, but it's just like too much work for me to do by myself. But I feel like people with like a lot of drive could totally pull that off and make a living off doing that. But yeah, in terms of indie animation, I've been so stuck in the studio system that I don't even know like if there are any like indie studios out there right now. Titmouse is like the most indie I can go, I'm afraid. Like, and that's still very much mainstream. Like their stuff goes on Netflix, so I guess that's not indie.
Oh, anybody else have any more questions? If not, I have one that I just thought of. You know, wait, you have a question?
No.
Okay, sorry. Okay. My question is about like working in like animation studios or projects that are outside of the United States, because I feel like I've seen a lot of people do that recently. I mean, I've really been wondering, especially for Japan, like I'm like, how do they do it, especially with like communication and stuff. But I was wondering if you had any experience with that or any insider thoughts about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Hong Kong, as I mentioned, and I work with some Hong Kong studios. Um, you don't really want to be working for an overseas studio while living in the US because that does not compare to the wages here. Like in Japan, I don't know if you guys know, but like they can't even afford rent. Well, most animators can't afford rent, so they have to crowdfund their rent just so they can like survive, you know, like that's how terrible the labor situation is in Japan. That's the unfortunate truth for like a lot of other countries. I know Sergio Pablo's studio in Spain is like a really strong, you know, animation studio over there in Europe, and Cartoon Saloon as well. I think sometimes they do hire overseas artists too. So it is possible. And in Hong Kong, when I was working there, uh, they didn't pay a lot, but you know, it's something that's outside the studio system that could possibly be more creatively fulfilling.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd say like in animation, unless you're moving to another country and living there, I can't see it being like sustainable for us living here because our cost of living is way more than anywhere else in the world, I feel like.
Yeah, agreed. I still do kind of wonder how they do it, because I guess it's more of like a enjoyment experience thing, maybe is what I've thought, possibly, but
I mean, I saw a posting for like a Studio Ghibli and it was like the wages were so low. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, that's one of the most world-renowned studios in the whole world. They're paying like well below US minimum wage. And it was like how? And I think most animators, unfortunately, they just work for 2 years and burn out and they just can't work anymore.
yeah.
It's like a work for young people over in Japan.
Yeah. Question?
Yeah.
Okay, we have another question. This might be our last question.
Um, I'm pretty sure that CalArts does like senior student films, right?
Yeah, we have to make films every single year, which is I forgot to mention. It's like literally every year to make a film, which is crazy.
What's your favorite film or your least favorite, and like what was your experience working on it?
My film? Like,
Yeah, like the films that you worked on, like you made during your
oh, okay. Well, let's see. I made my first year film. I finished my second year film. Third year film I didn't make. Fourth year film I'm still technically in the process of making. Uh, so I'd say my favorite film is the film that has yet to be realized, and my least favorite, um, probably my first year film, which is funny because it did get into producer show, but I think it was in hindsight a little bit too pretentious and unnecessarily complicated. But yeah, my fourth year film actually, it was going to be a 10-minute film. It was going to be a fantasy film set on a tiny Asian island, and it stars a young boy who is embarrassed by his dad, who's a fisherman, and he meets this really decrepit god, and he has to help him find his missing head. That's the premise of my fourth year film. That is still not finished, and who knows, maybe one day I'll finish it. But that will be my favorite film that I worked on because I like it. and it's not finished, so I can still imagine how it's going to be versus all the other films I made where they're already out there in the world, and I just like them less and less with each passing year.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. A lot of us are in our senior thesis class right now. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming that some reason why Ria asked that question, but thank you. Oh, and
So
we have
everyone, you guys have to make films too for thesis? Do whatever you
well,
want.
there are classes, like some of our animation classes we make like short films in, like I took experimental animation and we made a few like short pieces in there, and then advanced animation that was like you're supposed to make a film. It's definitely a lot less rigorous than Cal Arts. But for like our senior thesis class, you basically just make a year-long project. So I guess it's like kind of similar, but you can kind of do anything. Like I want to make like a animatic trailer type thing. I know some other people want to make films as well.
Yeah, I mean, those animatics are really actually really common in color arts too. Like people just add animatics in trailers too, and they can be really like really sophisticated for being trailers and animatics. Like there's like a lot of like it's like better than people's like finished films sometimes. So just like the focus on story and stuff like that. I hope you guys have fun doing it. I know it's hard because it's like it's a thesis film. It's never fun towards the end. It's like you're killing yourselves doing it. But you'll look back fondly on this time where you get to make things for yourself. You just do whatever you want. You don't get to do that anymore out here. It's like just have to you're working for the company, and you'll miss it when you're just like killing yourself doing something that's purely your own, like just your very own thing. And no matter how shitty it is, it's still yours, and you have no one else to blame or no one else to look up to but yourself. And that's like a rare thing because it's like solo projects, right? Do you guys do teamworks or anything like that?
I think I mean, you can have people like help you. Like I know someone who made a film and like collaborated with like a music student to make the music, but it's mostly solo.
For sure, yeah. All right, I look forward to seeing your guys' stuff.
Yes, thank you. I think we have one more question. Yeah. Run.
Better put on.
Do you have any advice for like moving to LA and moving in LA, like commute and things like that? And finding
Moving
work?
to LA? Advice for moving to LA. Ideally, you know someone there, which is hard, I know, because why would you know anyone over here? I'd say find roommates because the rent is no joke and the rent is so expensive here. I can go on forever, honestly, like places to avoid, places that are safer to stay. Uh, do you guys do Discord or whatever? Like,
We have a Discord. We have a Discord.
okay, cool. I don't know where to start. Like, is there specific things that are there specific aspects of moving that you would like to know about?
Just like the process and like finding the best places to live that are like cheap, but like still where you need to be.
I think there are certain areas that are like nicer, like or safer. Like I'm living in Burbank right now. Burbank is nice because Nickelodeon's literally like a block away from me. So it's like really nice. Cartoon Network used to be here before they shut down too. And Disney is really close. So I'd say Burbank is a nice area to live. Burbank, Glendale are both nice. And let me think. You guys all drive, right? In Michigan? Do you guys have to drive? Yeah. Yeah, LA is very car dependent. I feel like more so than other places, which is annoying. But yeah, you need a car. And people in the animation industry are really nice, so I don't think you'll have any trouble, having a network and making friends. Um, Going to life drawing can help you meet a lot of people because everyone goes to the same, two life drawing places. That's a great way to meet other artists in animation who are in LA. And you can form friendships like that. You can connect with people, find roommates through that, I guess. So yeah, I think the people aspect, once you're in that world, it's not going to be that hard because everyone here is really nice and really willing to help. And the support network in animation is like one of the best aspects of the industry because everyone's so supportive. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question at all. There's like so many small, aspects and nuances about moving anywhere that's like difficult. But yeah, if you want to, you can connect with me on Instagram, and if there are specific things you want to know, I'd be happy to answer.
Nice.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any last questions in the 2 minutes remaining? Probably 1 minute by now. Amazing. Okay, I was not looking at all, so I'm sorry. I have a question actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be at Lightbox Expo this year?
Yeah, me and
Oh
my
my
partner are in the
Oh
booth.
my God.
We're selling books, we're selling calendars, we're selling pins, we're selling stickers. We got all sorts of stuff. So yeah, if you
Whoa, salesman.
Would you be weirded out
yeah,
if
postcards.
Digipaint people came and said hello to you?
What? Sorry?
Would you be weirded out if
Attention Peterson Center.
Oh, it's happening again.
Closed to the public at 10 p.m. Building will only be
Come say
open to
hello.
students, faculty, and staff.
Oh yeah,
who
please
are
come say hello.
at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Locked and required and hard to get in. The building doors will be locked from 10 p.m. until 8 a.m. Reopening to the public at 8 a.m. After closing, there will be a series of card checks throughout the night. We'd appreciate your cooperation in advance.
can't.
Thank you.
It's too long.
Anyways, we got an M card. But yeah, I'm gonna hand it over to these guys.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, do you wanna like have any like lasting beautiful words to our beautiful club?
That's
Leave us
beautiful
on.
words.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just keep making art, man. Like, don't let anything discourage you because like worrying about skill level is such a silly thing. Like, just because you're not where you're at right now doesn't mean that you should give up. There's like a space for everyone in art, I don't know. Yeah, I look forward to watching everyone's thesis films if you're making films. Looking forward to hopefully seeing you guys in the industry if you guys want to be in here. Like
Yeah.
join us in animation. Things seem tough right now, but I feel like by the time you guys graduate, it's gonna be way better. So
Yeah.
I hope I didn't discourage anyone from going into animation. The last thing I want to do is do that. It's a fun time. You get to draw pictures every day.
Yay!
That's all we want, right? We just want to draw and paint or whatever, make art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for listening for so long. I know it's probably pretty late for you guys. It's like 10 right now? No, it's like
9:30.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you guys gotta
Okay.
get some sleep.
Bedtime. But would you like to promo yourself? You said Instagram.
Yeah, BB Chalky on Instagram. That's all. Yeah, Lightbox Expo. If you guys come, holla at me, and I'll hit you up with some free merch. Yeah, just say that you're part of the Digi Club, and I'll give you a discount.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak to us.
Yeah.
I think we all really
Thanks for listening.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I will be in contact with you. This is important. No laughing, guys, no laughing, nothing's funny. But yes, have a very good night, and everyone give one last round of applause. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Sweet dreams.
Have a good night.
Oh, thank you. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Yeah.